Day 7. Before bed, John is gifted the power of the wheelchair, mostly because of his messed up leg. He has to pick a slave every day to push him around, and Vance gets his first level up. In the morning, John gets accused of stealing a knife from production, which he did do to open a can of Tuda. Soda Man and Brian try to wheel him to where he remembers leaving it. They're unable to find it, and Brian accidentally breaks the wheelchair, giving it the lifespan of a shadfly. Xavier stops by and tries to throw his hat in the ring for the upcoming election. If you remember a couple days ago, this is something John proposed just off the cuff, and he also shows off his new power, console command magic.
Beyond question and absolute, dear king. Disable.
Disabled.
Recycle actor. Enable. You see, King, I have been blessed with the power of console commands quite recently.
A riot breaks out in town over who should win the election. Xavier ends up trying to cut a deal with John to work with him in the election in exchange for a piece of Exodia and the crown. It's probably worth mentioning at this point that the crown was originally gifted to Jimmy under the conditions that he defends it every night. That kind of didn't really happen. They just took it back from him every night and then gave it to another member of the crew and just kept taking it back. So part of this Xavier deal is to give the crown to John permanently. The Xavier and the party are tasked with going around to various NPCs who are giving out quests in exchange for winning their favor in the election. One of such quests was a spell battle between Greg and Letty, which was pretty funny.
Spell of masculinity.
Yeah. Got some raw eggs.
Spell of femininity.
Spell of femininity.
Hey, you cannot do that, okay? That's really not cool.
Then Jet stops by to see who will be running for the Fish's party representative in the election. All the fish, including the returning Taylor, are all running. She didn't make some grandiose entrance, by the way. She literally got reintroduced in this segment, just like, oh yeah, there she is. Ty ends up winning the primary and becomes the party leader. Not the leader of the party, but like the leader of the political party. Back at camp, Taylor officially announces her breakup from Xavier. And over in the town, Jimmy and Letty end up getting into a confrontation.
So Jimmy, why did you lose season 2?
Huh?
I'm asking Jimmy why he lost.
Yeah, why did you lose season 2, Jimmy?
For reasons I probably shouldn't say in front of a live camera. Because people didn't clean up their tracks. And that's why I came back so angry.
Are you saying it was rigged? Why did you let your emotions get the best of you?
Did you not wash your damn thing?
What?
Hey, here's a real question. Why'd they let a loved one of mine get name doxxed? Why were some people not very quiet about their feelings? Makes you think. Listen, Pisswitch, we really shouldn't be talking about this right now.
Why? I'm just curious because you could have won, but you got angry.
Do you want to happen?
What seems to be going on here is Letty's pressing Jimmy in like a classic fish tank mogging, let's say. Probably production pulled her aside and asked her to do this. She keeps constantly asking him about why he got kicked off of season 2. I think we all know why. Jimmy, who since season 2 has been trying to like distance himself from that, which is understandable. He keeps trying to tell her to knock it off as he's trying to cool down, and then you can even see on screen, they pull Letty aside and tell her to like keep going. Letty does as such, and then Jimmy crosses the line in Letty's eyes by bringing up some trauma that had leaked online to the internet.
So why'd you lose? Let's get back to our conversation.
NDA reasons that could actually really everything we're doing here. So we're not going to talk about it.
Is it over? Well, isn't it because...
Do you like taxing? We're not going to talk about it no more.
Isn't it because you lost your cool?
No, actually...
You freaked out?
No, I didn't freak out. I'd say I was pretty calm.
Didn't you get kicked off for throwing a mallet at that girl?
At a wall.
But isn't that why you got kicked off? Because you lost your cool?
Yeah, because people thought I was part of a certain something that I'm not.
What do you mean?
You're going to keep your mouth shut because you don't want this shit to like just all go to dust, do you? Right?
Why would it go to dust? Is that a threat?
Want me to use your legal name?
You can use it. I don't care. My name's Nina.
Then off.
I do not
Seriously, like for once, just go.
No, why don't you tell me why you lost?
It's NDA reasons because I had to dig deep to find that out. I had to dig deep.
You freaked out at a girl for no reason.
Do you know what was set up that day?
do you know about private messages? I don't think you do. Now kindly leave me alone, please.
Well, you got kicked off because you threw a thing at her.
Season 1's a cakewalk, retard. You ever had a season based around the same programs you went to? No, you didn't.
Well, you don't know what I was going through at the same time.
Oh, I know everything that you've been going through because I got DMs, but I politely deleted them.
Okay, well...
Ty and Xavier, who by the way is running against Ty in the election, end up having a debate. Ty ends up winning said debate, and then comes time for the election. All of the NPCs and the fish vote for who they think should win. Xavier ends up winning thanks to John, who, if you remember, struck a deal with Xavier, voting for Xavier over Ty, in exchange for the piece of Exodia and the crown. If John would have voted for Ty, it would have been a tie, and if Jimmy happened to be there because he was off cooling off in the woods instead of freaking out, it would have been a win for Ty and the fish. This leaves the party feeling like they were backstabbed by John, plus all the other times he seemed to have just been working for his own solo goals, backstabbing them for Xavier, backstabbing them for the Duke, etc., etc., etc. With the fish losing the election, some of them now feel like that their only shot at getting the crown is gone, not trusting what Xavier had told John. So back at base camp, they conspire to assassinate John. The plan gets approved by production.
He wants to be Xavier's pup.
Cool, we got the A-OK.
Xavier stops by with his political cabinet, including John, to flex on them, giving John another piece of Exodia, and reiterating that they need the custom Duke card to defeat him at the end. Jimmy gets rabies and scares off Xavier and his council.
He's cover sick. It's iron.
Based Kino.
And then Trish stops by with a premonition that vamps will now be able to attack in the daytime. The party then go out to the shrine to plan out their assassination attempt, a fitting burial ground for the paladin. But Jimmy, feeling like this is the wrong move, tells the whole plan to John, and then tells Taylor and Vance that John is aware. Now, fearing retaliation, Taylor and Vance ditch their plan and blitzkrieg John.
It is now. Someone else paid for it, but it's yours now.
I think he just fucked me, give me my portion to... Cool. I'm gonna go get my own. For what I paid for. What you doing, Vance? Stop shooting me, Paul.
I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible. I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm invisible. Did you shoot him? I'm invisible, I'm invisible, I'm
John, that's a life.
But they end up jumping the gun. At the time, John had 2 remaining lives. Even though they had shot him twice, he never went into a down state, meaning he still has 1 life left and 1 life dependent upon if he gets revived or not. This info is disseminated to them by Jet over the loudspeaker, so 4D Chess John remains in a down state and calls for Jimmy to come revive him. Also, he drank an invisible potion.
You're revived, and you gotta stand up if you choose to be revived.
Until the medic arrives,
you have to stop talking to John. He's currently invisible.
That is true.
John starts losing it at everyone, who in fairness were ganging up on him.
Stay out of this.
It would have been bad.
I'm gonna tell Greg to shut the f up. Shut the f up, you jump kid. Shut the f up. No, shut the f up. No, shut the f up. Shut the f up. No, shut the f up. Do something.
Hey, learn.
You want to get my face?
Get
Get my face. Shut the f up, you little bitch. You can punch me if you want. You can punch me if you want. Good. Good. I don't give a f.
Greg is extremely drunk and mogs him hard. Jimmy somehow ends up becoming the voice of reason throughout this whole thing and tries to mediate a peace deal between the 2 parties. But then, to reverse all the goodwill Jimmy had built up, Xavier makes an appearance and crowns John, now making him king, continuing this Mexican standoff, which unfortunately has ended when Jet pulls him off the show for the state of his leg. In John's stead, Jimmy ends up getting gifted the crown, and Ty gets glaucoma, with Jet explaining that curses are now in effect. Finding a blood root held by vamps, when brought back to camp and burned in the fire, will cure all party members of any diseases. Letty and Taylor are trying to have a private conversation, but the cams obviously follow them. Letty says that she's scared of Jimmy after the confrontation earlier, feeling like that not only did he cross the line, but things might get violent. Then Jimmy shows up to the conversation, and Vance. Jimmy apologizes sincerely for crossing the line, but Letty was still emotional about the situation and walks off crying with Taylor. After the women depart, back at camp, Vance tries to help Jimmy by talking it out, while TTS and sound effects were mogging Jimmy. Ty, who is still blind, is confused by the sound effects.
Oh, that's a sound effect.
But once Letty's had a chance to cool down and Jimmy sincerely apologized again, everything seemed fine. John is back for a brief second and announces that the rest of the team had cheated during his assassination.
How you guys doing, Cheetos?
Oh shit.
Hi, John. How you doing, Letty?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, both of you guys f***ing cheated, right? Oh. I didn't have f***ing goggles on. You guys didn't say PPP. F***ing Cheetos.
Vance tries to talk it out with John, but for the first time, the Paladin has nothing to say to his party. John reappears with the Duke, and they get off track pretty quickly.
Duke.
John, for once, I am the startled one. Walk with me. I told you I would grant you unlimited power. Is that what you want, John? Unlimited power?
Yes, it is, Duke.
Did you take steroids, John? Tell me the truth. It's not being recorded.
Only MK677.
What is that?
It's a sensitive brain signal to his brain to make HGH.
It's what?
It sends a signal to his brain to produce more HGH.
Yes, of course, I knew that. MK677. What is it?
MK677.
And then the camera feed goes out, so they reset. They discuss the recent mutiny against the totally noble Paladin. The Duke comes through on his dark deal with John, giving him Xavier's true name to commit to memory.
Now, for my end of the bargain, the unlimited power. Xavier's true name. It is this. You must commit it to memory. You may not read it from the paper. It must be memorized by you, Jan.
Do I have to pronounce this correctly?
As best you can, Jan.
Okay.
And the Duke finally transforms Jan into an immortal demon.
Minion! Hold this! Give me the thing! You gotta go down. Don't hurt your leg. Don't get this in your mouth or eyes. It's not that type of fake blood. Smells like chemicals. Bring your blood. I've drank so much that it's falling out. Now, Jan, rise. Jan, rise. You are now a child of the night, Jan. You are now an immortal vampire. Feel power.
The Duke reveals Jan's new powers.
Also, you are now a mod. And if people break the rules, you have the power to call them on it. You understand, Jan?
Yes. And what are my abilities?
You can fly.
You can fly.
You can fly. You can become invisible. You can take on the form of a bat. You have immense physical strength. The strength of 100 men. You can run lightning fast. You can control minds to some extent, to a small degree. Not as great a degree as I can. You can create illusions and say that you're 20 feet tall when in fact you're 6'2" and you wear lifts. You can do all these things and more, Jan. The power is unlimited. Do you have any questions about being a moderator, Jan?
Yeah, what are the main things I should...
Well, if they break the rules, you can stop gameplay and call them upon it. You must do your best to roleplay properly.
Of course.
And ensure that others are roleplaying properly. Yes. Yes. Laugh with...
The party figured out what happened within seconds.
And he's evil.
I'm pretty much a full-time content creator for the most part.
Oh yeah, it sounds like John's a vampire now.
And he also gets a new vamp look. With the new threat looming over the definitely unsuspecting party, they must now venture into the wood to find the bloodroot to cure Ty of his glaucoma. They find the fallen paladin tied up and left for dead.
Attacked by bandits. I'm tied up. I need help. Vance.
John,
Vance,
I don't know.
untie me, Vance. Help me, Vance. Untie me, Vance.
He's turned into a Vance. John, why do you look so different?
Vance, untie me.
John, you look different.
Yeah, fucking bleeding everywhere.
Did something else happen?
You mean like getting stabbed?
No.
The Duke casts a spell on Letty.
I am invisible. I have cast an odor of putrescence upon Letty no one can bear. She stinks foul like a corpse or sewer of corpses. It is a disgusting odor that lasts for 10 minutes. Ah!
The party are then ambushed by an army of undead. John is freed, and they leave the battleground, crossing paths with the Duke.
Do I smell good now?
You smell normal.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. I wonder why you smelled bad in the first place.
I don't know. It just happened randomly for 10 minutes.
Perhaps you stepped in something.
The party burned the bloodroot back at the camp, while King Thaddeus taunts them with his presence, as waves of vampires attack the party. After the battle, the Duke wants to know who attacked them. Ty gets out of line and is reprimanded by the overlords.
God damn it.
Jet breaks RP to level up Jimmy, and the Duke tries to get Jimmy to join his Dark Alliance.
You will surely make a handsome addition to whichever team you finally choose to join. I only hope that you should choose to join the right team, Jimmy. I would hate to see what would happen to you.
And then they discuss the new patch notes.
But guys, we hotfixed all the way up to 1.04. Some of those patch notes were minor, so I didn't bother to update you. Snuck in those patch notes was Jimmy is now a swordsman.
Jet, what else was updated in patch 1.04?
We slightly changed Chris's facial texture.
Yes.
The makeup is not the same as yesterday. And
I've noticed Jan is walking with a new animation.
Yes, we changed his animations. A couple reload animations got changed as well, mainly because the guns broke.
Yeah. He looks like he was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse.
Jimmy also gets a new weapon.
I want to give you this, your next tier of Jimmy weapon, your shout microphone. You can shout dragon shouts into this.
They teach Jimmy his first shout.
Jet, are you going to teach him his first Jimmy shout?
Do you want to show him a Jimmy shout? Because I didn't have one prepared. I was just going to handle on kind of a case-by-case basis.
Let me Chris. Lord Thaddeus.
Lord Thaddeus.
Perhaps you remember how to perform a Jimmy shout.
Every time you wish to use this tool to get enemies away and cause damage, all you have to go is... Si papi un año.
I can't remember any of that.
Si papi un año. You must be loud.
I did feel it a little bit.
Si papi non año.
Si papi non año.
Ah, that's damage. Or the king.
How much damage did you just take, Chris?
1 damage. It is a small power, but when it grows, it starts to become very dangerous.
Before the night ends, King Thaddeus demonstrates his elegant death poetry.
King Thaddeus, speak one of your famous killing poems to Letty. Letty, pretend as though the king is sticking a knife into you and twisting it while looking into your eyes. Look into his eyes. Savor every last moment of the pain, King Thaddeus.
You found yourself. A new sinking feeling. New lows have entered your soul so dark. Now life drains, and death comes to start.
And that is it, my children. I will be back for the next recap very soon. Batform!